What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Shriners 2023 betting preview show. It's early on a Monday. DB here, my boy Pat Perry. Top of the morning to you, P.
Good morning. Glad to be here in the morning hours with you, DB. This is unusual, but today is Columbus Day, and so that means kids are out of school, I guess, and people are partially working. I don't know. I don't know, or they're coming back from vacation today.
Yeah. Shout out Columbus. Doing well.
Fine in America.
Doing well. Listen, I'm just, as always, we're presented to you by our friends at Leaderboard. It's the go-to app that you need on the golf course to keep up with your own stats, to settle bets with your friends on the course. Let the Leaderboard app worry about handicaps and dotting the scorecard and settling the bets at the end. They got it all covered, and it's a wonderful free app that you can download. The link is in the description of the podcast here. You want to use Leaderboard. They're great partners, great people. Fantastic app now available in both iOS and Android stores, marketplaces, whatever. And as always, we start with down the board. And Pat, I'm not going to go very far. I'm going to kind of victory lap this one. This is just this is kind of a victory lap where also when I get to the end, I kind of want you to just, somebody to slap me really hard in the face, because Luke List was the last Sumbee off my Big Balls betting card. He was the last one eliminated. I talked about him on the show. I talked about him again in the Wednesday night live chat in our Discord that we had. It was a wonderful chat. People still weren't buying that the Luke List guy could putt well enough to come up and win a golf tournament where the winning score could be 18, 19 under. And he did it. My boy Luke did it. Representing Champions Retreat, shout out. Now, he's not wearing the Champions hat. Henrik Norlander was.
Yeah.
Who finishes tied for second. What a wild finish at the Sanderson Chicken Cock Championship. But now the Chicken Cock Trophy is coming home to Champions Retreat. I'm excited. Maybe one day I'll get to take a picture with it.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. I mean, I was out. I was gardening yesterday, DB. I was planting the fall garden. And when I came back from doing all of that, I even texted you. I was like, wait a second. There's a 5-way playoff. Yeah. Which is kind of my down the leaderboard, because I don't know when the last time I saw five guys in
2017, I think, or 2018, they said.
Well, and the funny thing was, did you notice on the tee, the guy that was giving the numbers out, he was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, but we're probably not going to finish tonight anyway.
Yeah.
And then the first whole List just drops the bomb and the birdies, and it's over.
It looked like a member guest out there in the fairway, too. I love
it. Really
many guys out there. But shout out to all 5 of them. They all fired quickly. You could tell they all were like, let's try to get this in as best we can. We're going to do our best, but let's figure it out. Low-key flex, too. Luke List hit. I mean, I got to imagine he hit it a little skanky on the bottom left quadrant of that driver, because he hit like this low-cut bullet that, 1 mile an hour higher ball speed than Ludwig just before him, just a flex. I mean, Luke's one of the longest hitters on the tour. But I said that this thing was happening, that not that he would win, but that he would contend, because the putting has started to show something. And I am telling you, we've talked about it on the show, Luke List is a top 10 ball striker in the world. He is. That's how bad his putting is. You're at home laughing. You're going, are you effing kidding me? How many mushrooms have you done so far this morning, DB? You're insane. But I'm telling you, tee to green, he is one of the best. He is elite tee to green. He has elite distance, and that makes up for a lot on the PGA Tour these days. He can hit irons into literally probably almost every par 5 on the PGA Tour. And when you come to a place with 4 par 5s, a drivable par 4, and of course it's gettable and has birdies, he can feast, but he doesn't because his putter sucks. But now this is like 4 or 5 events in his last few that he's gained strokes putting. I did happen to get a text off to him last night, and I knew it would be crazy. I knew he would be, getting bombarded with text messages, and he did reply and said, "Thank you, DB." But that's all I got. But I am going to try to get out of him at some point. Maybe we have him back on the show. We had him on a long time ago. He was fantastic. But I want to try to get out of him what has possibly changed about the putter. Because, dude, how crazy, just to say that out loud, did Luke List won a playoff by making a 60-foot putt, 50-foot putt?
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
And I mean, dead in the heart, perfect speed.
Yeah. Like that thing wasn't. I mean, that was an aggressive putt, but it was great speed. It wasn't going to roll like 4 feet by. I mean, it
No,
was dying into
it
the
was
hole. It was
perfect.
good.
It was a perfect
Yeah.
putt. I mean, it literally was. Um, it was definitely pulling for my boy Norlander there at the end because I didn't think 18 under was gonna get in.
Yeah.
Norlander kind of crapped down his leg on the last few holes, hit one out of bounds, hit one almost out of bounds. And our friend Darren's in the chat talking about Ben Griffin. I mean, Ben,
Oh goodness.
th- this is one reason why I say the thing sometimes about like some of these guys, I like to see them down the stretch in the hunt late on a Sunday and see what their body does. And to me, like, and he's been up near the top of some leaderboards before. I mean, I talked about it last
Yeah.
week. I said we talked about Ben on this show. I talked about him on the First Look show last week. Like he was leading the Players Championship at one point. Now that was on I think round 2 or round 3, but he did not look comfortable. And he's got that something about his swing. I can't figure it out. Like, do you watch his swing and feel like right at impact, like he does some sort of a glitch or
Yeah.
something? There's something with his head, and he just did not look comfortable down the stretch. His body,
I mean, he hit a good drive in the
he
playoff,
did hit a good
but then
job.
the second shot was not very good.
Well, I think the playoff is like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's still hard, but when you're trying to hold it together and you're the guy in the lead,
Yeah.
that's got to feel a little different than like, okay, well, I blew it. Like now I'm probably not the favorite out of these 5 guys, right? Like I now just need to go get it. But it was something to see, like him kind of, I don't want to say choke, but just he was rattled. I think he was rattled. He did not
He
have
was, and
control.
he was heartbroken
Yeah,
afterwards in his interview,
and I
which is
hate it for him. I mean, we
yeah.
had him on the show last year. He's a fantastic kid. I love what he's doing. He's blown up on TikTok, Pat. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Has he really? Oh, yeah, he does have the where he kinda does a
yeah,
day in the life type thing. He's I mean, you gotta give him a lot of credit. I mean, the guy almost quit golf. I think
yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
He was like a mortgage broker for a little while or
Yeah, for
something.
sure, he was. He just
So,
did a TikTok on, the average amount of money that a PGA Tour player spends every week. It was very cool, like, and it's gotten a lot of run, but just talking about his expenses, he breaks it down dollar for dollar and talks about what guys pay for and what it costs, and it's pretty cool. So, I mean, I hate that for Ben. I think he's gonna learn something from this. The kid's a scorer. Like, I mean, we talked about him last year. He has the record at one of the Sea Island courses. He shot like what he shot, like a 58 or 59 or something. It was insane. The kid knows how to
yeah.
score. Like when he's on, he's on. But I'm sure he'll learn something from that. But it was a tough thing to watch. But and you know what I was thinking too down the stretch when Luke was like in the top 5 or 6. I never thought he was going to win it, but I was thinking to myself, this is great. Like Luke's continuing to putt well, and we're gonna bet the hell out of him the rest of the fall. Like just because he won't get enough love for what the putter's doing in the market, and we're just gonna pound it, and then he wins. So now our number's short. But I mean, the guy finished
Yeah.
he finished 7th in the field in strokes gained putting.
I mean, you know, it's great to see, and if he keeps the thing is, will he keep it up?
Yeah,
Because I feel like this was happening before with him, and then it kinda left him, and then it came back, like, somebody like Griot, who I know has been terrible putting for a long time, has kind of put some consistency behind that. Let's see what happens with
yeah.
List.
For an honorable mention down the board, Pat. How about our boy Joel Damon finishing
Yeah,
T13 at 1300? Good to see. Like he's kind of struggled a little bit. Um, he gained strokes off the tee. He gained strokes around the green and putting. He was like basically 0 or neutral on approach. So the iron's not great, but it was just a solid performance. Um, Hit 75% of his greens in regulation. So good to see Joel finally get a good one. I talked to Gino last week about our member guest, and he was like, boy, he's like, I'm making more money doing endorsements and sponsorship stuff than I am caddying. We really need to do something. So I know Gino's at least been talking to Joel, being like, hey, let's put in some work and let's do something. So
well, this is a good spot for
yeah,
him. He's done pretty well here. Gino was, he did some announcing
he
last week.
did. He did.
I didn't get to hear it, but I heard about it because I saw a little clip from Joel giving him some advice or something. I don't know what it was, but he did. He did a little. I think it's PGA Tour Radio.
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
so. And we know he was just in Hilton Head a couple weeks ago doing something with a sponsor. Like Gino's turned into quite this marketable guy, and he should be. I mean, he's got an incredible personality. He's a great guy, good person, high character guy. So good to see it. Good to see it. And shout out for Joel too. I mean, and I know those guys are like best friends, but there's some guys on tour that are close with their caddies that wouldn't want their caddy doing stuff like that. And for Joel to let him do it, let him cook and do his own thing is pretty cool. It speaks highly of Joel as well. But it would be nice to see Joel start, bucking his head like he did this last week on tour and doing something great. So
yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, just to wrap it up, man, I just gutted to not have Luke List on the card. I think because somebody asked me about him on Wednesday night in the chat. I think it might have been Spaz or somebody, and I just said, yeah, it was really the last guy off. It was kind of like I was trying to narrow it, get it down to my normal 5-unit play, and it's just the last one. I scratched off at 50-1 or 55-1, but I know a lot of you hit it. A lot of people in the Discord hit it. Hopefully, you also tailed my props plays this week because I crushed those all week long. So hopefully I made up for it a little bit with some of you people on that. But I hated not having List again. So, all right, let's talk about the Shriners Children's Open Hospitals thing. Whatever, I can't remember the order it all comes.
Yeah. Can we just call it Shriners? Do I have to? I don't want to say the whole thing in order.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say Shriners.
Shriners. It's a solid field. It's probably going to be one of the best fields, if not the best field we see all season long, with a lot of guys based in Vegas, a lot of guys playing out of Vegas. Their coaches out of Vegas. They play golf, UNLV or whatever. So it's kind of a stronger field. Guys like to come to Vegas to show up here anyway. The course gets decent reviews for what it is. It's a total birdie fest, but even more so than last week. I mean, the average winning score here the last 5 years has been 23 under. It is absolutely a birdie fest. You've had winners like let's see who's defending champ. Tom Kim, Sung Jae, Kevin Na, Bryson DeChambeau's won here. We were doing a show and Rod Pampling won here, Pat. You remember that?
That's crazy. Yeah, I do. He shot like 11 under one day.
Yeah, it was all putting. Smiley Kaufman's won here before. I think it was his one and only win on tour. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag of winners here, but we're getting a good field, and that's nice. I'm actually excited about that. TPC Summerlin, of course, we're all pretty familiar with as well. I will say last year I did one of those course breakdown videos. It's about 13 or 14 minutes long. It's on our YouTube channel. If you just search Shriners or Summerlin, it'll pull up. But it's just things you need to know about TPC Summerlin and nothing you don't in terms of handicapping. Some good nuggets in there. Some of those I've already shared in the Discord, but there's some extra stuff in there if you want to really dig into the course stuff. I give it all to you in about 15 minutes or less. So check it out. But it's a birdie fest. Like I said, 23 under. Fairways are wide. It's at elevation. So guys tend to, the ball travels. And the fairways are wide and generous, and the rough's not that bad at all. It's really about being on the proper side of the rough if you're going to miss it, or the proper side of the fairway if you're going to miss it. Bent grass greens, pretty pure, and it's a high green and reg situation. I think you can toss around the green out the window here. 13 is the minimum kind of average number of greens hit every year over the last 5 years. So you better be hitting greens. And that's really what the guys have done the last few years that have finished in the top 10 or 15. They've been way higher than average, close to 80% of greens in reg or more for a lot of these guys. So it's just about doing that. When you think about Tom Kim, when you think about Sung Jae, like that's kind of what you think about when we think about our last two winners here. That's what they do best. So, and then hit it close, make some putts. That's what we're trying to do. We've had some long shots.
I think fairways are a little bit underrated on this course. I mean, they're wide, they're easy to hit, but if you keep the ball in the fairway, it gives you a good, chance at being able to, really spin it into these greens, into these bent grass greens. And if you look at guys like Tom Kim and Sung Jae, not necessarily Bryson, but, great drivers of the golf ball, obviously good ball strikers. So I wouldn't exclude driving accuracy or fairways gain from your model. I would have a little bit of piece of that in there.
Yeah, I like the strokes gained off the tee metric could capture a little bit of everything there. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, even if you're just a fairway finder and you don't hit it really far, I think almost 45% of the approach shots over the last 5 years have been from 150 and in. So it's still a short iron, mid iron at the most into a lot of these greens, unless you're talking about the par 5. So par 71 usually averages around 7,100 yards or maybe a little bit more on the card on average. But and our boy Darren says, yeah, there's a little bit of an Asian connection here. The last 2 winners, obviously Sung Jae and Tom Kim. So there's a bunch of those in the field. There's a few of those guys that live here. So
Siwoo's got a good history
Siwoo
here. I don't know if I don't think he hasn't won, but he's got a good history.
Yeah, not here.
So.
But yeah, it's a good track. All right, let's it's Monday morning. It's about 11:15. Odds been up for a little bit. We haven't had a chance to like fully go through and cook up all the numbers and run the models and stuff. So this is kind of a hybrid show between my first look show that I do about this time every Monday morning with our Discord and the betting show where we've had kind of all day Monday to kind of process some bets. So I mean, I don't know that we want to fully commit on everybody here. I'm sure there will be guys that we go ahead and say, let's commit to. But for the most part, we're kind of walking through the betting board, talking about the folks that catch our eye, those guys that we don't really like at certain numbers, and we'll go from there. It looks like the weather's pretty perfect, Pat. So, I mean, I think if we want to fire, I mean, really the only defense to this golf course is if it gets windy. Other than that, these guys are going to crush it.
Yeah. So I think when Cantlay won, it was super windy.
Yeah. So if we want to fire on, on these now, I think we totally can. So, but definitely going to save a few units before, once I kind of can dig a little deeper. So I'll run off of DraftKings odds boards. Pat's going to check on FanDuel, maybe MGM. If you're in the live chat watching live and you find a better number, feel free to type it in the chat and help everybody shop around. So Tom Kim and Ludwig Aberg start off as your co-favorites at 11-1. I think they were 12-1 on FanDuel as well. Tom played over in the Kazoo Open or something in Paris or France somewhere. So he has played since
Kazoo.
I think that's what it was. Isn't that what it is?
Is a kazoo the thing that you put in your mouth and you?
Yes, that would be the kazoo.
Okay.
But let me double check that because maybe I'm just making that up. Yeah, the Kazoo Open de France. He finished T6. Okay. That was his last event since playing Wentworth. Finished T18. So it is one of those things where Tom's been playing, even though we haven't seen him on the PGA Tour teed up yet since the playoffs. He's been playing. He's been playing well, and he's your defending champion. I guess my question is, and dude, I mean, we didn't even talk about Ludwig, but insane for we talked about Ludwig on the chat Wednesday night, and we were all kind of coming back around. We had a contact that works with Ludwig say like, dude, Ludwig looks fantastic. He's refreshed. He's 22. What the hell up, And so on Wednesday night we started to come around, and he just found himself in that playoff, and it was like, God dang, the kid's amazing. So if you had to pick one right now, if you had to take Tom Kim to defend or Ludwig to take this one down at 11-1, who are you taking?
I think I'm taking Tom Kim.
Okay.
I'm taking Tom Kim, which he is 12-1 on FanDuel. Now, I will say this before we go further. I'm going to have to switch over to BetMGM because FanDuel had all lock signs in front of the players, and then I hit refresh, and now they've taken it all off the board. So I don't see any bets for this right now, but it was up a second ago. But he is 12-1 on FanDuel. At least he was. Maybe they're about to change it to 11-1. Oberg is 12-1 on BetMGM right now, by the way. So, but I think I'm going to go Tom Kim. I like what we've seen from Tom lately. I think he can go back to back in this tournament. So if I am going to bet a short odds guy, I'll go Kim at 12-1.
I think I agree. I think I'd rather if I've got to pick one, I think I lean a guy like Tom. I mean the course history here does seem to be a little more predictive than other courses in the fall. So I think just at least having a little bit of a look at it. Darren's in the chat, and I agree. Like I do think Ludwig can win anywhere. I mean, he's clearly
I agree. There's no,
but I give a slight edge to that for Tom. And I like the fact that he has been playing too, just like Ludwig. So I think I would take Tom if I had to pick one, and I'd probably do something to try to juice that number. Thursday night football, something like that. We try to. I wouldn't mind trying to juice that number up a little bit, but I'll probably avoid picking. I doubt I'll have both of them, obviously. Cam Davis is exciting to me right there at 20-1 on DraftKings. I mean, obviously played really well at the Fortinet a few weeks ago. What's his record here? So he's got some decent finishes here. Not great. He's played here 3 times. 27th is his best finish. Obviously finished the season really strong. We talked about that, and then 3rd at the 4th net. I mean, I think Cam's an interesting call at 20. Is that the best number you have for him?
Yeah, he's at 20-1 on BetMGM. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, agree there.
Obviously, you had Siwoo do well in the Asian Games there with Sungjae. So he's played some competitive golf since the playoffs, and like you said, has a good record here at 25-1. I'm always up for betting Siwoo. I like Davis and Siwoo more than I like a handful of guys that fall after them, like Hadwin. Although I know Hadwin has a good record here, I just don't trust him to close the door. Højgaard, first time seeing him since the Ryder Cup. Herbert, we all know how I feel about him. Postman, I think I'll stay away from. And then you get into Eric Cole territory, which I feel like this could be when everyone jumps off of Eric Cole after everyone having him last week, and then he kind of didn't do very well, and now we'd all jump off and he could win.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he did, he did kind of what Eric Cole does. He sprayed it off the tee. He lost 3 strokes off the tee. He gained 3.2 on approach. Like, that's hard to do. To lose that many strokes off the tee and still gain 3.2 on approach is really, really good for Eric Cole. He also relied kind of on the around the green play. He gained four strokes around the green at the Sanderson, but I don't really think you can do that here when everybody's hitting the greens and reg at such a high clip. So I think for me, it's like Cam Davis, Siwoo right here, and then we're going to get to a guy here in this 40-1 range that I really like. But is there anybody else in here for you?
Yeah, I mean, up top here, I think Siwoo for sure at 25-1. I actually do like Hadwin because you can get him at 40-1 on MGM. I think 30-1 on DK is I guess that's what you're seeing is
Yeah.
a little short for me, but I do like Hadwin at 40-1 if you can get him at that number. The other name I have is at 40-1, and I think he's who you're probably about to talk about because I know he is a little bit shorter on some other books, but I think he's 40-1 on DK. I'll let you say the name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Vincent Norman.
Okay.
Oh,
no,
wow.
that's not him.
No.
I really like Adam Schenk this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
I love Adam Schenk at 40-1. I think, and that's where he is on DK. He's 33-1 on MGM right now. I think Schenk, I know he's got where is he up from, like Indiana or something or whatever, but his caddy is from the Vegas area, I believe, or lives in that area. I don't know if that helps at all, but Schenk's been playing really well, and I think this is a tournament where he can certainly win on. I know it, it's kind of a scoring fest, but we've seen that Schenk can score.
oh, yeah.
So so I like Schenk a lot this week at 40-1.
I like Schenk too. And I think he's pretty hungry. I know him and Brett Swedberg, his caddy, are both pretty ready to close the door on one. But my name in here was V Norm. I'm very
he's been great lately.
V Norm is the one I want to fire on right now for sure. He won the Horizon Irish Open over on the DP World Tour, if you remember, right after he finished at the FedEx Cup St. Jude. Then he went to Wentworth, finished T18. I think the guy's just an incredible ball striker. And is going to hit a ton of greens and regs. So I think where's my V Norm stat model here? Yeah, I mean, going to gain a bunch of strokes off the tee on approach as well. The putting is usually the problem, but I think he's in play. I mean, I kind of put him in that Luke List territory. If he can get the putter working at all, he could be quite dangerous around here. Now he has some really horrible weeks with the putter, but then he has these spike weeks too, where that's where he won the Barbasol, and that's probably what he did at the Irish Open. I mean, the guy's won twice now since July between the Barbasol and the Irish Open.
Yeah.
I know those fields are probably both weaker than this, but probably not by much is my guess. So, we saw him finish the top 10 at the Byron Nelson earlier in the spring. I just kind of feel like he's maybe elevated his game a little bit. So, but I agree with you on the Schenk play too. So for me, it's Norman. It's Schenk. And what do you think about going back to Luke?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to.
Well, what do you mean?
After what you did.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's usually you're the one that has the list. You're the list whisperer. And
I
you
whispered it.
whispered and
I whispered it.
you whispered it, but you didn't listen to the whisper. It was not loud enough in your own brain.
Listen, sometimes we overthink things. I'm guilty of overthinking it, but
Yeah.
I didn't really overthink it because I wasn't like off of. I just and I don't know if there's something in here I need to learn, but like as I was going through, I get maybe I'm too rigid. Like the big balls betting card, I always keep it to spending exactly 5 units. That's it. And I just kept narrowing it down. And I was dropping a half a unit or more on list at 50 to 1. And I needed to space, I needed the relief to get down to 5, and he was the last guy out. But I played him in DFS. I mean, we talked about him, so I whispered him.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
Is he capable of like a Lucas Glover type run here, winning 2 in a row?
I think he is. I think he is.
I mean, if the putting stays the same, there's no reason he shouldn't be in it at
He
the
gained
end.
6
I mean,
strokes total putting. Dude, he
Yeah.
was neutral on approach. Like that's actually very uncharacteristic of Luke List.
Yeah. I think we can fire back on.
And I mean,
I do.
His record at the Shriners, he's gained a bunch of strokes off the tee, as you would expect. He's played 5 times. He's made 3 cuts. Around the green play has been solid. Irons have been kind of hit or miss. He has finishes of a 13th, a 20th, and a 15th. Now that was back in 2019, 2017, 2016. All 3 of those he was gaining strokes putting. I think I want to go back. What's the best number we have? I have 40 on DK.
I've got 45 to 1 on MGM.
Then probably that's a go ahead and hit it for me.
Yeah.
I really love this range of Norman, List, Shink. Yeah.
I tell you who I like. I know he's not exciting at all.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Putnam.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at his last few here. I mean, he's got 3 top 20s here in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, he's playing well.
You're talking about gaining a bunch of strokes on this course. He's done that. Can
he win?
That's what we have to ask. He's won before.
He's never won. He's never won on the PGA Tour. He's got 3 runner-ups.
He has to. There's a Putnam that's won. I know this always comes up, but there's a Putnam that's won.
Michael Putnam?
Maybe Michael Putnam. Yeah.
There's a Putnam.
There's a Putnam out there that's won. Maybe this is when he gets the win then.
I'd rather the other guy around this range that catches my eye is Aaron Rye.
This whole range, I could bet everybody in this, and I could have a whole card. It would just be this range. It kind of feels like last week, which is what we had. Luke List in this range.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Davis Thompson again over here at 50 to 1. I feel like this could be a Davis Thompson week. Naismith has a good record here, 60 to 1. Played well last week.
Yeah, I'm not buying Naismith. I still think I don't think he can put 4 together or close the door right now. I think he's kind of he needs to figure something else out. I mean, he did play well, but I mean, Smalley. I mean, Hubbard. Dude, Hubbard had a chance. Did you see what he did the last couple holes last week?
No, I missed that part.
Yesterday? Oh gosh. What's Hub's record here?
By the way, Naismith has finished top 20 every year he's played here.
I know. We're not betting top 20.
14th and 2nd last year. I mean, he's gained over 2 strokes on this course.
I just don't trust him to win. But okay, I mean, people might laugh, but I'm just gonna say I'm throwing Hubbard in the mix now, looking at him. Even though he sucked ass on those last 2 holes yesterday. I mean, we could very easily be talking about Hubbard winning the Chicken Cock Trophy.
Yeah. He would have probably done some funny things with that trophy in his hands, I bet, too. Like, I could see him just running around in circles with the chicken trophy in his hand.
Yeah. He plays here a lot. He doesn't have any good finishes, but he plays here a good bit. His irons are just really dialed right now. What's the best number you see on him? I have him at 50.
I see he's at 40 on MGM. FanDuel, by the way, does not have anything up yet.
Or locked. So my Bo Hostler experiment wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. He got hot on what day was that? Saturday he went super low, and then yesterday he just completely shot it.
I was starting to think you might get that one.
Yeah, he just didn't put four. He didn't put four together. You said Davis Thompson.
Oh wait, FanDuel's back up. Hang on. Who do you want? Who do you want me to tell you on? All right, so Hubbard's 55 to 1 on FanDuel.
There we go.
Davis Thompson is 55 to 1 on FanDuel.
I think I agree on the Davis Thompson play. He gained a lot of strokes tee to green, lost a little bit. Actually putted kind of neutral. Sorry, he lost strokes around the green. No big deal. Gained strokes, irons off the tee. Hit 78% of his greens in reg. Didn't he play well here last year? Thompson?
I believe he did. Yeah. Hang on, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind DT either.
Yeah, he was 12th last year. First start here.
So 55?
Yeah, 55. By the way, these FanDuel numbers look a good bit better than what I'm seeing. Like Shink, we'll go back to him, 45 to 1 on FanDuel.
Oh, yeah. Usually in the mornings on Monday, FanDuel's good to kind of give you a little bit better number.
Yeah.
Now, okay, now let me. You got Adam Svensson, who's right here with Davis Thompson, who played, as well, if not better. No, I guess he played he shot the same. He was T16, same as Davis Thompson, right? Svensson's a PGA Tour winner. Like, why? What makes us take DT over Svensson? If you had to pick one, I wonder what his record is here. He's played here twice or three times, missed the cut. T69 was his best finish last year.
I mean, for me, I think you could easily take Svensson if you want to. We get into these conversations about these guys that haven't won yet. I mean, Davis Thompson is a guy that is definitely on the cusp of getting a win. I could certainly see it this week. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to bet Svensson anyway. I wanted to do it last week and I left him off the card. Yeah, it's kind of a feel thing for me. I think Davis, this is certainly a week, especially, finishing 12th here last year, first time playing the course. Aggressive player, can score. When he and Rahm were going at it at the American Express, I'm pretty sure they were just making birdies left and right, which you're going to need to do here. So I like Thompson. 55 to 1 is on that FanDuel number. I like a lot. So
yeah, okay. Before we get going to the next range, don't forget our friends at SoBet. That is that's where you're going to win an opportunity to come join me and Pat on that first beautiful week of April. On that special Tuesday, we're going to be walking the hallowed grounds together, eating some good food, drinking some good beers, watching some great golf. It's going to be a great time. You're going to want to figure out a way to get here. So we're going to have you and a guest tickets to that event in April 2024. This is going to be your best chance you'll ever have to win it because there's less than about 400 people enrolled and ready to do this. So all you have to do is join SoBet and give it a try for at least 1 month. You can cancel at any time. If you click the link in the description, it'll pre-fill the code TJ at the beginning. You go through the sign-up process at the end. Then at the end, if you type in TJ trial, you get the first month for free. You can just give it a shot. It's where we are dropping exclusive top 40 round robins every single week, up now 9 units on the season. And it's where a bunch of handicappers are helped. Over 60 plus handicappers now who have been vetted, verified, and then put up on the platform and told, listen, you have to be transparent. You have to give logic around your plays. You have to tell exactly how many units you're putting behind each play. And then win or lose, you have to recap each play. And that's what's happening on SoBet. It is a wonderful platform for those of you who are betting on any sport, not just golf, but any and every sport. They're crushing it in NFL and college football. and every other sport imaginable is out there. There's a tennis expert on there crushing it on tennis. It's a beautiful thing. And it's not just traditional sports betting. So if you're in a state where it's not legal, you can still sign up. You can still do that. We had somebody DM us this week and ask if that was possible. Yes, anyone in any state can download SoBet. They're giving you content. So you can use that content to bet offshore if you're doing that, or you can use it in the props market with a lot of the props contests like Underdog, for example. So give it a try. Link is in the description. And you only have a few more weeks to enter in that Masters contest. All you have to do to enter is sign up using our link, using our code, and give it a shot on SoBet. So we appreciate them for partnering with us. And obviously, they also bring us the SoBet Saturday live chat every single Saturday in the Discord from 11 a.m. to noon Eastern on Saturdays. We had a good chat this week with Money Making Picks, the boys over there. I don't know who it is this week. We got to figure out who's on the docket. But it's been very, very good. Very successful. It's a lot of fun. If you're in the Discord and you're missing the Saturday SoBet chats, you want to make sure you schedule that on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to noon. Okay, let's keep working down the board here, Pat. We just dropped an interview with our friend Ryan Jameson, caddy for Justin Suh, who's a TJ fan. And it was a good interview. So you can check it out on YouTube. And I'm going to put it in the podcast feed here probably today if you're a podcast listener. But it's already up on the YouTube feed. Ryan was a great interview. Good guy. Talked a lot about Justin's game. Talked a lot about how comfy Justin was here. This is where he lives, and he's based out of Vegas. So he's pretty comfortable here, and he's excited to play. Plays TPC Summerlin every single week, and he is at 55-1. Now, we've seen that narrative before, and it doesn't always translate. So just FYI there. But Suh's had a solid year. We need to see him in contention on Sunday. But 55-1, I might be willing to bite. Is that the best number you have on Suh?
I've seen him at 60-1.
Okay.
Where did I see 60-1? Yeah, 60-1 on FanDuel, and then BetMGM. Where is he's 50-1 on BetMGM. So 60-1 on FanDuel is the best number right now.
Nice. Okay.
And I like Suh. I'm with you there. He was one I wrote down.
Continuing to look down the board, this is starting to get kind of in the no zone for me. I mean, if you have somebody, I don't like a lot of guys.
Do you look at Stallings, who I feel like nobody really paid attention to at all yesterday?
Exactly who I kind of stopped at. Didn't we mention him? Like,
I feel like we did.
I feel like we said, it was one of those where he was in bad form all year, or for a lot of the year, and then like he at least hit it okay at the Fortinet. Finished 56th, but there were signs of something. But I mean, on the flip side though, he finished runner-up by gaining 9 strokes on the putting green.
Yeah.
Now he still was positive in every other category, but he was just like basically average off the tee, average around the greens. He gained 1.7 on approach total. So is that amazing?
Where is he on FanDuel? I don't even. Oh, there he is. He's 80-1 on FanDuel.
He's played here a ton, but he doesn't have a lot of good finishes here.
Yeah. If you fancy him, definitely get him on FanDuel because 60.
Yeah.
I think 66-1 is where he was on BetMGM. 80-1 on FanDuel. What's he on DK?
75.
Okay.
I mean, I start to look at guys like I don't know about Pendrith. Callum Taran, your boy Matt Naismith's in here. Taylor Montgomery, the Vegas kid who, he started out his year last year so hot in the fall and played great here last year, if I remember correctly. But he has just been, boy, I mean, he just continues to be broken. He finished 15th here last year despite losing 5 strokes on approach. My God. I don't think I could do Taylor Montgomery to win.
No.
Where did Taran end up last week? He finished T43, lost a lot of strokes on the putting green. On the greens, not the practice putting green. He didn't lose strokes on the practice putting green. He lost 6 shots putting last week. Good Lord. Tee to green was lights out. I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a really bad spike week. He does that. He did that at the Rocket Mortgage. He did putt well at the Genesis Scottish, then gained 4 at the 3M.
What is he? What are you looking at? What odds on DK?
Taran is 75.
Yeah, so he's 80-1 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't mind going back to him. What did Ryder do? Ryder,
he was just kind of average.
he was average, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Love that. Starting to get Ben Griffin 80-1. Like,
dude, how about this? How about he's not getting any credit? FanDuel has him at 90-1. BetMGM has him at 40-1.
really?
Yes,
He
40-1.
7 strokes with his irons last week and 8.5 on the putting green.
Yeah, he's getting zero credit for anything in the FanDuel and DK world.
At 90-1, like 90.
I'll go back to him at 90-1.
Yeah, I will too. I don't mind that at all. I mean, if it were like 50, I'd be like, I don't know. That's pretty good.
What did Akshay do last week?
Akshay.
You know, he concerned the Vegas thing could get to him.
He finished T43. Well, he is newly engaged. What do you think? He's just going to be gambling?
I don't know.
Does he look like a gambler? He looks like a guy who sits down at the poker table with a hoodie and sunglasses and like ties the hood. Whoever that was. Remember when that guy used to do that?
Yeah.
That's what Akshay looks like. He looks like that guy. But he didn't do amazing last week.
And he played here in 2020. Was he like 15 years old? Like, jeez.
His mom had to drop him off at the
at
the entrance to the club.
I mean, that's the only time he's played here was 2020. But you had adolescent Akshay.
This gets kind of it gets kind of rough. Like the further we go down. Now, I did have a guy on my betting card who was one of the top players on approach last week, and that was Chad Remy. Finished T16, gained 7.8 strokes ball striking, so off the tee and approach combined. Has played here twice, finished 14th and 28th. Like, and he didn't putt well. He lost strokes putting at the Sanderson, which is unlike him. But it was his first event since the Barbasol, and he finished T16. No, sorry, I'm wrong about that. He played the Fortinet, my bad. But he's 19th and 16th, first 2 events of the year. What do you? I mean, I don't mind it. 100-1 is what he is on DK as a bomb.
Yeah, I don't. He's 120-1 on FanDuel.
I take that. I mean, he's won a PGA Tour event before.
People forget that
he won the Corrales.
Yeah,
I mean, the dude can putt. He can roll it. When he gets hot, he's on. Before we get into any more bombs, I want to remind everybody about our NFL and PGA DFS contests that are going down every week on Splash Sports. You can click the link in the description of the video or podcast here, and it takes you to our commissioner channel. We're official commissioners on Splash Sports. So if you just go to that channel every week, you'll see all the contests that we have up and running. We're going to go back to the NFL tiers contest because I learned that when we did the Pick'em this past week for week 5, that some states are not allowing you to enter the Pick'em contest, but they'll let you get into they'll let you get into the tiers contest. So we're going to go back to NFL tiers, and we're doing PGA tiers every single week with listeners. Me and Pat are in there. It's a good time. I think this is the first week we will not cash for the NFL contest. So that's why we're going to go back.
Well,
nominating.
I noticed a lot of people up there though with the Pick'em that are tied too, and it spreads out the payouts a little more. So I kind of like the tiers more. And you're right, we didn't do well, so we need to go back to the other ones.
So check out that link in the description. Just click the link, sign up. Pretty easy there. Splash Sports available in many states. If you can play DFS in your state, you can probably get on Splash Sports. It's not a problem. So, all right, keep working down. I mean, how did EVR finish up? Like he was cruising there for
I was
16.
I was just looking at him
hitting it well. I like that.
110-1 on FanDuel.
I like that. He is he's 100. He's 100 here. And Peter Kest.
Yeah.
What did EVR, man? He just can't he can't putt.
He's only played here once and missed the cut, but
I just like where the ball striking is right now. I
Mhm.
mean, he's gaining a lot ball striking. That putter turns around for a week, and all of a sudden he's there. I don't mind Kest either. I know I'm kind of am I this show's like Kest homer? Is that me? Because you don't really seem to get on him very much.
No, I don't. I just I like him too. I like his game. I just
Maybe he's not ready to win.
I don't know if he's ready to win. Maybe he's a long shot top 20, something like that.
Carl Juan is 130 on DK.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah, I mean, the dude chipped in to on 17 or not, he didn't even chip in. Like he hold it from the fairway, didn't he? To
Yeah.
on 17. Well, you don't know, you weren't watching, but he's kind of this spike player, like big highs, low lows. But he gained strokes across the board at the Sanderson. That's a bomb. I mean, and I like that he kind of felt it. Oh, Harry Hall. Now there's a Vegas guy for you. Harry Hall has played very, very well here, even when he's not playing very well. He does play and practice out of TPC Summerlin. He's kind of one of those low key TPC Summerlin guys. He's not hitting it very well right now, but he's finished 15th and 8th the last 2 years here. Let's look at last year. Coming in, coming into last year also terrible. Missed the cut at the Fortinet, missed the cut at the Sanderson with awful ball striking numbers. In fact, the ball striking was worse last year coming into this than it is this year. And he managed a 15th place finish. In 2021, he was on the Korn Ferry Tour. Literally hadn't played hardly anything. Let's see. He had just finished the Korn Ferry Tour Championship and then finished 8th at the Shriners. 130 to 1. Probably more of a top 20 number, but
Yeah, he's 100. Him and Juan are both 150 to 1 on FanDuel. I don't even see where. Oh, Harry Hall's 100 to 1 on BetMGM. So we're just getting on in general a lot better numbers on FanDuel.
yeah.
Speaking of better numbers, we talked about him early on. I mean, Joel Damien's at 200 to 1 on FanDuel. I'll take it. He's 100 to 1 almost everywhere else.
150 on DK. Plays well here too.
So I'll take 200 to 1 on Joel.
Yeah.
That could be another good like top 10 or top 20 bet right there.
Yeah. Do we have any top 10s anywhere out yet?
They certainly aren't on FanDuel. I don't see them on MGM. I don't know what you've got on DK, but they're not. Let me see. Let me check all bets and see if they do have something.
I don't have anything on DK yet either.
No,
Norlander's 180 on DK. I mean, he hasn't played great here. He looked bad down the stretch with the iron play. A couple of those approach shots he hit in the water were just terrible. Yeah. Anybody else?
I think that's it for me. I don't know if we'll get it. I mean, we don't have top 20s yet, but I may just add some into my card in the Discord chat.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but if we're going off some of these bombs that we mentioned, those are probably all good top 20s.
Yeah.
I think the ones I want to let's talk about guys we want to go ahead and fire on now to win outright. I would say Joel at that number.
Yeah.
I would say just because I think these guys are going to get bet down. EVR, I would fire on. Ben Griffin. I would. And I might wait on a couple of those guys. Let's see. Like Hubbard, List, Norman. I like those. Schenk, I would fire on. I'm good to fire on all those.
Yeah. I would say Joel for sure is an outright. I do like Hall as a top 20.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fire in on Griffin at 90 to 1 if you can still get that. Naismith, I'm just going to stick to my guns at 60 to 1. I think I even saw him a little better. I didn't look at FanDuel when they came back out because I don't think we were talking about him yet. Or when I don't see. Yeah, Naismith's 80 to 1 on FanDuel. So if you can get that, take it. I like Thompson, Davis Thompson. I think 55 to 1 was the best number we saw there. had one, I'll bet 40 to 1 in Shink also. I think I saw 45 to 1 on Shink when FanDuel came back. Yeah, 45 to 1 on Shink when FanDuel came back out with their numbers. And then I'll go Siwoo 25 to 1.
Yeah. Will you go Lexi Thompson at 2,500 to 1, Pat? Would you bet? What do you think the upside here is for Lexi? Like, what's the true upside? Make the cut?
I think make the cut, and that's where if you're gonna bet, that's probably what you do. That number's not out yet from what I see, but I'm sure it's gonna be out, and it'll probably be. I mean,
It'll be a plus number.
It'll be like what, plus like 10 to 1?
I would think so. I mean,
I think 10 to 1 is probably about like, all right, so what number would it have to be for you to say, I think I can hammer Lexi making the cut?
I mean, just because she's going to be on TV a lot. We know that.
Yeah.
The first 2 days are going to have her on TV. It's going to be a spectacle because it is a spectacle. And so if you just need a sweat, if you're an addict and you just need something in your veins to sweat on Thursday or Friday afternoon, then betting Lexi to make the cut would be your jam. And I would probably start looking at it and like consider it at like 15 to 1. I mean, I don't think I would touch it at 10 to 1. I'd rather parlay a few NFL bets Thursday night. I think
I was just making a guess. I think it's going to be way shorter than it should be because of the attention. It's the same thing you get with,
that's true.
Not that she moves the needle like a tiger or something, but whenever you get some unusual, like a Steph Curry in the field or something like that, and it's to make the cut, the number's never what you want it to be. It just never is.
Yeah, it'll be like 8 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
And shots fired to, 5-time PGA Tour winner Nick Watney, who's the same odds as Lexi, outright at 2,500 to 1. Can I just say, like, on the Lexi thing, I like Lexi. I like her. Peter Malnati, a couple weeks ago at the or maybe it was this week, maybe it was at the Sanderson. Peter Malnati was in the press conference and had a Freudian slip when he called it a gimmick. And then he did do a good job of like backtracking and saying, well, no, this isn't kind of what I meant, like da 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 da. But on the microphone, he slipped up and said the Lexi Thompson thing was kind of a gimmick. But it is a gimmick.
It is.
now, it is the right of the tour, of the sponsor, to give those sponsors exemptions to whoever they want. And she ain't the first gimmick. Steph Curry's a gimmick. Tony Romo's been a gimmick. A couple of these other players that have been given sponsors invites that are just not.
You're a country music guy,
like Eric, not Eric Church. What's the Jake Owen or something? Maybe?
Jake Owen or something. Didn't he get it may have been like a Corn Ferry event, but still.
I mean, they're putting up all the money for really a very subpar PGA Tour event in the fall. Then, yeah, I guess they can give it to whoever the heck they want to give it to. So I get it, but make no mistake, it's a gimmick. Like Lexi is good, but she's not. This is not even close. She's going to play. Let me ask you this, Pat, just without looking. How far on average do you think Lexi hits her driver?
On average, probably 235 to 240.
Oh my God, Pat. Jeez.
What?
She's one of the longer hitters on the LPGA Tour.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it can't be like, on average, it can't be like there are PGA Tour players whose average is 285. I mean, I would think it'd be like 25, 30 yards shorter.
Okay. Lexi outdrives you by about 40 yards.
She averages 280?
No, she averages 270.
And I hit it at least 240 on average.
She's averaging 270 year to date, which is 12th on the LPGA Tour.
That's pretty good.
It is.
It wasn't that far off, 30 yards.
It is, but honestly, I was going to say, like, if you go back a few years when she was a little bit younger and like kind of a big thing, right? Like, they made it seem like she hit it 300 yards, and maybe at one point she did, or she could get there.
Yeah,
but if you're averaging 270, I guess I guess this is the place to do it when you're at elevation and the ball's going to go. She's going to roll it out another
That
10
actually
yards or so.
makes me feel a little better about this. If she's averaging 270 off the tee.
Yeah, I just and she's playing well. I mean, her recent
Yeah.
finishes, she's got a 5th place finish at her last event just this past week at the Ascendant. She's got an 8th place finish, the Arkansas Championship the week before. She played in the Solheim Cup, had that controversial press conference. She had a T19 the week before or 2 weeks before the Solheim at the Kroger Queen City. So, I mean, she's got a T19, T8, T5 in her last 3 starts. So, obviously, she's at least, I mean, she's kind of peaking in terms of her form. But
Can I assume there's a connection between the course here too? And I know there's a lot of players that play out of this
like
course.
maybe
We've
she plays
mentioned.
out of here too?
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking. I have no clue if she plays out of here. It just it I don't know why it's this event. Maybe because it's a fall event and the field's weaker. That I thought maybe there could be a connection. Maybe I don't know who a coach is. I know the Harmon's coach out of here. Um,
Yeah, maybe that. Looks like she's based in Florida, so I don't know about that. Anyway, I mean, to make the cut, I would be interested at 12 to 15 to 1. Anything short of that, I'm not going to watch the gimmick. Okay, Pat, one last thing before we get out of here. Taylor Swift's a big deal. She's a
I
big
mean,
deal.
so we know or are told.
Yeah, she's all over the NFL right now, and it got us thinking. It got me thinking. If Taylor Swift were to date a golfer, she's obviously maybe dating Travis Kelce. Although I'm starting to buy into the conspiracy theories as to how this whole thing is being lined up, and believing that maybe it's not that real. But she's dating Travis Kelce. If she were to date a PGA Tour golfer, who would Taylor Swift be dating? Who do you think it would be? I'll let you go first.
Well, see, now you just made it an important distinction that I didn't know you were going to make.
What?
I didn't know it had to be a PGA Tour golfer because I would have said it would be a live golfer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. You went outside the box. You went
Yeah,
live
I went
golf.
outside the box. I think it would be a live golfer.
Okay. Who
Now,
would it be?
this person doesn't. I mean, they may be dating somebody, but I just feel like she likes attention,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
She feels a little awkward to me.
mhm. I think she's kind of nerdy
Yeah,
deep down.
Bryson DeChambeau and Taylor could be a thing. I just could see it happening. It seems to be a fit there.
I like that angle.
Yeah,
Okay. I like that angle.
and Liv's kind of a little different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I was thinking
Liv
was.
would let her have a concert live while the
Yeah, on
while the
on a
tour's
whole.
going on.
Yeah.
But then they'd have to kick out like DJ, Snake or whoever.
Mhm.
DJ, I don't know. Okay, I like where you went with that. I do like where you went with that. I went a slightly different route. So if you look at her history, she's kind of moved through some different boyfriends. She dated Ed Sheeran. She dated what's the guy from what's the dude Harry Styles? Now he's like a woman or something. She dated him.
He's a
Sh
woman now?
I think he's trying to be
Okay.
a woman. And then she dated Joe Jonas from the Jonas Brothers, and I think then she dated that dude from, Twilight, I think, for a minute, and now she's on
Mm.
Travis Kelce. I think at the end of this, her and Travis aren't gonna work out. There's too much attention on both of them.
Yeah.
She has to be the one, right? She needs a complementary piece. She's tried it with all these uber famous guys, right? All these boy band guys, these huge stars. Ed Sheeran's a huge star. Like she's tried it with that. Now she's moving into NFL, another huge star, a big personality. A guy's got his own huge podcast and all his merch, and he's won 2 Super Bowls, and he's on every commercial imaginable. And it's not going to work out for that reason. You know what she needs? She needs a beta boy.
Oh, okay.
She needs a beta boy.
Oh, I feel like I know which direction you could be going.
I also think there's indications that she's kind of a free spirit. would be a nice way of putting it. Maybe a little bit of a nerd, like you said. So I think there's a beta boy who's also kind of tall, like Travis Kelce, and who we also know is pretty. He's kind of a free spirit, kind of a hippie. I think Patrick Rogers is a perfect beta boy side piece for.
I could see that. I think that's a great. Yeah, I can't even believe Rogers didn't come up and none of us wanted to bet him.
He could go completely under the radar. She could still be the star. Nobody's gonna know who he is. He's kind of a hippie. I think he's a free spirit too. Probably
she would hold those cold mittens that he likes to wear for him. Like if he needed them, she would throw them to him from the gallery.
Yeah, he's a long-haired Cali boy, went to Stanford. Like, they probably could write poetry together, or go to a poetry thing and do this and snap together and all the things. So I think Patrick Rogers, I think it's going to end up not working out because she doesn't need an alpha. She doesn't need an alpha. She needs a beta. Patrick Rogers could be that dude for her.
I love it. I think I'm totally with you there. And you kind of went outside the box too. You didn't pick a top 25 in the world golfer.
She can't. She
can't handle that.
It's more like they wouldn't be able to handle it. I think Rogers could handle it. He's never won on the PGA Tour. Like, he's never been the guy. He's always been the guy in the distance.
Yeah,
and that's what he would have to be to date Taylor Swift, and it work out.
Well, Bryson's certainly not beta. I don't believe so.
No, I don't think he is. So you went the opposite direction there.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching on YouTube, drop in the chat. Who do you think that would be? That we'd love to hear what you have to say. If it's somebody else, if you don't think it's Rogers or Bryson DeChambeau, we read all the comments. We appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure and click the link and sign up for SoBet. You only have a few more weeks to get into that contest. That's in the description. Come find us in the Splash contest for NFL and PGA this week, and let's have a fantastic Shriners week. Bend over your bookies, people.